Competition will never be the same when episodes drop every single Tuesday. They're on a mission to bring footy news, plenty of laughs and guest interviews. All the others are slow, but they're coming fast. When it's all said and done, they'll be number one. The rest are coming in last. Number one footy podcast is here for you. Number one footy podcast. I reckon the issue with Carlton this season all comes back to Luke Sayers and his dick pic.
What do you mean?
Well, I think that's just started. I mean, Dutchy, you think about it. When we played footy, you didn't have these devices with cameras on it, right? So back in our day, a dick pic was a post-game photo with Richard Champion.
I've got my own dick pic then.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have.
Can we get Dutchy's dick pic up, please? And there it is. Dutchy with Richard Champion.
I love a good dick pic, I must
we
say.
love a good dick pic. But seriously, tell us about the Hawks and the Carlton game. What do you reckon?
Well, guys, honestly, like it's. I mean, Carlton started actually pretty well, didn't they? They did start pretty well, but it's a little bit of the same stuff. In fact, a little bit of what I saw from Carlton reminded me a little bit of Collingwood against GWS with their lack of defensive skill. And they didn't make as many mistakes as they did the week before. They were a lot better, I must admit. But their efficiency was down. I think they're around about 64%, which is far too low for an AFL team, especially against the Hawks, who we know are probably the best kicking side in the league at the moment. And this was happening the week before as well, but it happened again. Cowan gets sucked up to the play. We've got Sard getting sucked up to the play. Ginnivan gets out the back. Watson gets out the back. The one player in the AFL, not just Hawthorn, but the one player in the AFL you don't want to get out the back is Nick Watson. All right, in my day, you didn't have anyone getting out the back. You had elbow in the shoulder. I know the game's changed a long time since then, and we're living in the past. But at the right time, when the ball's within, a kick away, you've got to be back shoulder, pushing the guy into the play. Don't get sucked to the play.
I agree, Dutchy. Yeah. I'm seeing so many goals this year, not just the Hawks-Carlton game, but it's like a pandemic. Guys getting out the back, kicking goals. We need that Damien Hardwick, we don't...
Yeah.
When was the last defender that we know that was just, like you're saying, arm across, Brad Hardy was a back pocket player. but he won a Brownlow medal. Just running up the ground. He probably started this trend.
Yeah.
But at least he won a Brownlow. Wanganeen followed as well in 93.
Yeah, he didn't play on any, but he was, nothing got past him. He was an absolute weapon. But in today's game, every single team at the moment has at least one, if not two halfback flankers that literally are just getting on the front foot. And as you can see, like if you had a bird's eye view, you can see at every single centre bounce, they come off that back of the square and they try and get handball receives the halfback flankers and they just leave their half-forward flanker alone. You've got to pick and choose the right moments to do that. I think, Josh Dacos is doing a lot of that. And obviously Sard does that, although Sard is the most unaccountable player in the AFL. It is disgusting. They've probably got to get him to a wing. Because wingers have never manned up and he probably suits him. Get him to a position where he doesn't have to worry about actually picking someone up.
I reckon he's actually not too bad defensively one-on-one if he has to do a job.
One-on-one, when he is one-on-one, he can defend. But the problem is he gets on the front too quickly when the ball's in dispute and he gets forward before they've got possession of the ball. And that is the problem with Sard. One-on-one, when he's in the position to defend, he's good. He's actually okay for his size especially. And he's a great ball user, as we know, and a great runner and quick. But, Essendon at the moment, they've got to tighten up. We'll get back to Essendon in a moment.
Oh, jeez, don't bring up my boys. That was to imagine you can kick 100 points in a game and still lose by 10 goals. It's quite a remarkable feat there.
Yeah.
But it was a great game to get things underway between the Blues and the Hawks. The Hawks just established themselves and their credentials. We then move on to the next game. Your boys.
Collingwood Bulldogs. There's a fair bit to talk about here too, Coach. Let me tell you right now, because there's a bit of whinging going on. And I got a little bit fed up with it because let's strip it right back because I went I had a party on, by the way. My daughter had a party there. And so I hid in the wine bar away from the party, put the TV up, turned it on at 7 o'clock, waiting for my little dose of Still Sidebottom and Scott Pendlebury.
Amazing effort.
You wouldn't believe what happened. All I'm seeing is 100 years of footy, blah, blah, blah. Every good club's played 100 years in the AFL. Only the crap ones haven't. Now, I'm serious. I'm serious here. That was hijacked. That night was hijacked by the Western Bulldogs. Every good club has played 100 years of AFL. No partnership has ever hit 308 games, ever, by two players. That was the first time it's ever been done. All right. So why wasn't it celebrated? Why wasn't it prime time? Bulldogs hijacked the night. I was disappointed in that, and I don't know what else to say.
Well,
basically.
I guess, and then when I was watching it, the first thing I saw was Rory Lobb hijacking the game by knocking Mason Cox in the head, which for me was play on. What's all this carry on about?
Let's have a look at that vision while we're there. The Mason Cox vision. What's your opinion on this, all honesty? What's your opinion?
Look, Dutch, back in my day, I missed the old you could chop the arms. You don't have to be a running defender. You just be, the golden fist, Danny Frawley, chop the arms. If you get the head on the way through, play on. Play on. It just looked bad because he wears glasses and they came off his head.
I've got a bit of an issue with this because if you're an elite athlete, an elite AFL footballer, this bloke takes 5 elite intercept marks a game under serious heat, but yet he can miss a ball by 30 centimetres and hit someone in the head. Now, that to me says it's very well disguised. Well done for disguising it well, but that should be weeks. And if you go by the MRO panel, all right, it's head high, it's at least medium contact, and at worst, it's negligent, possibly reckless.
He was going for the ball just like Barry Hall and Brent Stoker. Play on.
Let's have a look at some of these other clips of the Bulldogs. This is like, we're talking about free kicks though. Like I've had every man, he's like, 33 free kicks, 18, blah, 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 blah. Every Western Bulldogs fan, I'm sick of Western Bulldogs fans. They are the worst fans of all time. We've got some really close mates that are Western Bulldogs fans. And I feel like not even being friends with them anymore. I'm that peeved. But have a look at this. This is the first quarter in the first 3 minutes of the game. The ball comes out of the middle. Everyone's seen this, and you can say his arm's free. Moore takes the ball, gets tackled, straight to ground. You can't get rid of the ball when someone brings you to ground in half a second. All right? He's had no prior opportunity, and they get a goal out of it. This next play here, this is like a minute later. Buku Khamis misses a ball completely. That's dropping the ball in any language, in any game, in any part of the world. And then we get that by Darcy. And what did you think of this by Darcy? Just a free kick. I know everyone's going to say he's a fair player and this is just a free kick.
Of course it's a fair player.
But look at it more closely, guys. Look at it. Look, he's come from 25 metres away.
Oh.
And look at him. He's running like... He looks like Linford Christie or Carl Lewis said. Look at the high knees. He wants to kill him here. And he comes through and he misses the ball by half a metre, and that is a body spoil. That is a charge. See that? He's gone past the ball with his fist. He's charged him. I don't care what you say. From one dirty play to another, I know what I'm talking about. He's tried to kill him there.
But play on. That's what I'm
play
saying.
on. And he'll get away with it. No one will talk about it because he's Darcy. But
his dad commentates for Channel 7. Of course, he's a good boy.
No, that is rubbish. And I know everyone's going to disagree with me, but that there is holding the ball, not a sling tackle as well.
That was a sling.
West got away with that one there. Jeez, he's looking a lot like his dad
Scotty
now,
West,
isn't he?
He does
Jesus
look a lot
Christ,
like him, yeah.
Poor bloke. Did you want to talk about this as well? Because we're talking about free kicks and the whinging that went on.
Yep.
I know you want to talk about this, don't you, Joe?
Of all the clubs, like the richness, unbelievable, of all the clubs whinging about umpiring, it's coming from the Western Bulldogs. These guys are absolutely kissed on the dick year in, year out when it comes to the umpiring. It is unbelievable. They only won that flag in 2016 against the Swans because of those free kicks. They had 20-8 in that grand final.
20-8, and you can see it flash on the screen.
It was
there,
absolutely
20-8.
gifted. Gifted.
It's to be honest with you, I can't remember how lopsided and one-sided the free kick count was that day, but they're whinging about losing one game by a goal when Collingwood were the best team, out-tackled them, out-contested possession them, and had 6 more scoring shots on the day. Well, missed like I don't even know how many they missed, but they could have put that game well out of reach, and they're still whinging. And they'll whinge about that for the rest of the year, I can guarantee you that. But they won a flag with 20 free kicks to 8.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they've got to stop whinging, these guys.
I'm an Essendon supporter.
It's starting to really do my head in.
I'm an Essendon supporter, and I'm whinging about the 2021 elimination final where we were absolutely destroyed by the umpires there as well. Waitman, 4 goals from 4 free kicks in the rain, absolutely destroyed us. Get off your high horses, Bulldogs fans.
Let's be honest, we're going to win the flag anyway. They're pretty ordinary, the Bombers. Let's get on to these comments because while we're on these Bulldog supporters, I'm sick of them. I've had enough. I've seriously had enough. They came for me on my Instagram page. The trolls were there, and these aren't even the worst ones.
What are the comments?
Look at Geordie 92.
Go on.
Born in the 90s.
What do you say?
Brent Montgomery's son shouldn't be allowed on the internet, he said. Mitch Thompson says, who the F is this douchebag?
What is a douchebag? Can someone fill me in?
I don't know. Do you want to know what a douchebag is? What's a douchebag?
It's Kane Corns.
WA Painting Pro, and he's actually listed. He's got his business profile.
Right, let's call him up.
Yeah,
he's from WA.
Go jump off the Westgate. Is this bloke serious? You can't say that. He's actually got his business profile, and he's saying those type of words.
Ridiculous. That's very hurtful.
We'll track him down.
Yeah, we'll find him.
What about Ferrari? Ferrari 348.
What does he say?
488. This bloke must be the biggest wanker. I bet they're still crying about the 2002 grand final point, which the Collingwood supporters thought was a goal. Scums.
Oh.
All right. So this is the type of stuff that we have to deal with. And there's a couple more there. This is Ventulo. How about you grab a spoon and eat my you know what? This is the sort of stuff that goes on. Like, it's ridiculous, isn't it, really?
Unbelievable.
And what about Eric Vacalis? Grow up, you washed up old man. To his credit, he did put a laughing emoji, which kind of means that he's
having a laugh.
A little bit of a sarcasm, a little bit of tongue in cheek. So that's okay, Eric. I'll let you off the hook. But this is what's going on. I expect when we beat every other side for the rest of the year that this stuff doesn't happen. I hope it's just a Western Suburbs thing.
Well, the Sons of the West have got their problems off the field as with their supporters, but also a little bit on the field with one of their star players not actually being there at the celebrations, the centenary celebrations. Right. One Jamara Ugelhagen, he wasn't there. What do you think of that, boys?
So apparently he was off. He went to some other games during other codes, right? During the week. NRL, and then he was at the NBL.
Yep.
And then he went to the pub. Apparently.
And then he went to the pub when it was. Yeah.
Is that? Look, are we going to get sued for this, or is
it's been reported
legit?
That way, so we're okay.
Okay.
How much do you trust Tom Morris?
So Mickey McGuan actually posted something on his page or one of his pages in and around this, and he said that he's lost the plot, basically, and that really he's checked out. He's checked out completely. So it's disappointing, isn't it? I thought this would be a perfect opportunity with 100-year celebrations, even though it was crap. To get out there on the field, get amongst all the ex-players and do a few high fives and a few hugs, and the supporters would have been going, he's back, he actually cares, there's some emotion in this guy.
Yes.
You know, this means something to him, but no, he's hanging at the pub and watching the NRL and the NRL, NBL, etc., etc. So it was disappointing, Coach.
Disappointing.
What would you expect from him?
Well, you need to be supporting your team. If you can make it to the other codes, and it says a lot, doesn't it? Actions speak louder than words. But, Dutchy, it's funny you mention this power forward and the celebrations because my mate and your mate, Matty Richardson, a big power forward, celebrated his 50th birthday, half century. Forget the Bulldogs and their 100 years. Richo, happy birthday, mate. 50 years, a legend of our game. And, Dutchy, I've had enough.
Mate, well, Richo, I love Richo.
I'm bringing a statue, Dutchy. I'm starting a petition for Matty Richardson to have a statue at the MCG. He's kicked the most goals at the G, 464 goals. Guys, the petition, the link for the petition's here. Get behind him. We're calling it He's Fucking Open. Because he is. He's ready. That's the name of the statue. That's how it's going to be. Guys, sign up. We've signed up. get behind the great man. It's his 50th year celebration, and we're going to end it by having a statue at the G.
464 goals on the MCG. Do you think I've got a statue? I've got nothing. Not even a certificate. Yeah.
No, look, I don't disagree with you.
What would the statue look like, Richard? Like what pose would you?
I'm open! Kick it to me!
What? Just hold that pose there. Mick, come in here. Look, let's get this as a reference for the statue.
I'm open!
He's f***ing open.
Kick it to me!
Kick it to him.
Come on!
I like it. I'm all over it. I'm all for this, and I'm going to get right behind this for a couple of reasons, because I love the idea, number one. Number two, he's a fellow Tasmanian, and he's the best that I've seen of all the Tasmanians, obviously. So, has he kicked 8 goals on the MCG, though?
I think he's on a tenner.
Okay.
I'm sure he has.
Sorry, Richo, of course you have.
Have you kicked 8 goals?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, round 2, 2002.
Yeah.
Our 8 goals
West
won,
Coast.
in fact.
Chris Judd's first game. Oh, jeez. But anyway, Richo, love you, mate. Guys, get behind it. And that should take us to the next game.
Yeah, it should. It should take us
if
there.
I can remember it.
If I can remember. No, I want to forget it is the thing. It's my boys. So I want to forget about that. Jeez, that was not a good showing by us.
But while we're on this, before we talk about the game, I know there was a Kako goal and this, that, and
Forget
the
about
other,
the
but
game.
we need to have a chat. I know it was putrid. Because I did see a post, and I know I sort of bagged him a little bit last week, but there was a post that I saw about all their draft picks over the last few, it's from 2019 to 2022, the draft picks. Can we go through all of them? We'll do it quite quickly.
No, don't.
We've got Harry Jones, number 30. This is 2019. Harry Jones, number 30. What do you reckon? Tick or cross?
Question mark still.
Question mark. Nick Bryan, number 38. Still a bit of a question mark. We've got Cahill, never heard of him. Lachlan Johnson, never heard of him.
They're gone.
56 and 63. Nick Cox, number 8, I'd say a cross.
Bust.
Perkins, for what you would expect, probably a cross, I would say.
Probably.
Reed, number 10,
Question
potential,
mark.
but question mark. Cody, you know him?
You're gone.
Never heard of him. Hobbs, number 13. I do like Hobbs, but he still hasn't quite got there yet, let's be honest. Lord, 46, never heard of him.
Yeah, gone.
McDonough.
Gone.
Yeah, very good reserves player, VFL player, no question about that, but didn't make it. Voss,
Freo.
gone to Freo. 2022, we've got Sardis, Hayes, Davey and Davey.
Yeah.
We're from 15 all the way to pick 54. Cross.
Sardis still early, question mark. Hayes hasn't played yet, so question mark. Jaden's gone. And
If you
Alwyn,
pick 25, I mean, I was picked 26. And by this stage, I'd played 36 games in 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, and I wasn't that good.
No.
I mean, I did kick 8 goals on the MCG, but I wasn't that good. All right,
You were okay, Dutch. You were good, mate. I rated you.
I was.
James Hird was picked 72.
He was.
You know, and he's
Wasn't Chris Grant like pick
Yeah,
100
something
or
like that.
105
But
or something crazy like
what?
that?
You can't. Oh, look, this is all Adrian Dodoro's doing. And I know he's not there anymore, but you can't always.
Would you blame him? Do you?
No, well, look. Let's just say you can't always get your draft picks right. And I've had an instance back in the 2000s that I'm not really proud of. Me and Swipper Northie. I mean, have a look at this. Who? Buddy Franklin? Don't be ridiculous, mate. Richard Tambling is a generational talent. I can't even believe we're having this conversation. Just get it done.
Back in the 2000s.
Richard Tambling, a generational talent, was he?
At the time, that's what I saw, okay? I saw the vision that when no one else could. I was wrong, and I admit it, but...
Well, you're allowed to get one wrong. All right, I was wrong once too, Coach. Don't worry about it.
What were you wrong about?
Scott Gumbleton, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but I'm assuming I must have been wrong about something.
You're wrong about being wrong. You're wrong about being wrong. You're never wrong, Dutchy. Mate, you were wrong, though, because you mentioned James Hird. You also had a bit of a run with James Hird on the footy field.
I've actually got a good story about James Hird on Anzac Day, and going back, it sort of aligns really well with the lob incident. Like he got off that spoil that hit Mason Cox in the head. I actually got 1 week for attempting to strike James Hird. Can you believe that? Attempting to strike.
Not even striking.
Not even striking. I missed him. I don't even know if I was trying to strike him, to be honest, but apparently I saw a bit of a fist that missed him completely by 3 metres. And I got 1 week for that, believe it or not.
Well-
now the story behind it though, it goes back. All right,
Well,
so
let's hear
2004 and 5, Essendon were all over us in the Anzac Day games. Came home late. James Hird was on fire in those last quarters. All right, and it was deja vu again. We were on top most of the game. Essendon were coming back hard early in the last quarter. James Hird was on fire. All right, I just come off for a spell. Mick gets on the phone and goes, Dutchy, I need a favour. I go, what do you need, Mick? Anything you need, mate? I'm here. He goes, you're going on to Hird. Do what you have to do to take him out of the game. All right, that was his exact words. Do what you need to do. So anyway, I go, what am I going to do here? Anyway, I go on to him, arm across. He whacks my arm and he just takes off. And he was gone like that. He was quicker than people realise. Like, I was quick. I was real quick, but he was quicker. All right, so he took off. Actually, I wasn't that quick, but he took off. A couple of times, just got away from his stoppage, push off, bang. So I thought, every time he runs forward from here, I'm going to just bumper bar him. Anyway, I started bumper bar him. He pushed me back. So I was exhausted from pushing and running, and he was running from back pocket to forward pocket and back. I thought, I can't beat this bloke. He's too fit. He's too quick. So I just grabbed him in a headlock and I took him onto the ground and we just started wrestling. I reckon we were wrestling for 5 minutes. There was only 5 minutes left in the quarter and he was on fire. So I took him out of the game for 5 minutes purely by just wrestling on the ground. I got up. The siren went. We'd won. And I go... shook his hand and off I went. And then everyone was celebrating. And then the funniest thing is in the change rooms after the game, Mick just walked past, didn't say anything. He just goes, just give me the little wink and just kept walking. Did my job. If you can't beat them, bash them.
How many weeks did you get for that?
I got, 1 week.
1 week?
1 week.
That should have been more.
No,
Unbelievable.
I didn't connect with him. I missed him.
You made up for it with 5 minutes worth of wrestling, I reckon.
Yeah, well, you can wrestle.
You can
Wrestling's
wrestle.
fine. That's fine.
Well, you're a lawyer, Joe.
Yes, you can say that.
Attempted murder. Is
Yeah,
that a
attempted murder,
serious?
yeah, it
is that a
is.
serious offence?
It is a very serious...
Even though you didn't kill them.
You're lucky to be here, Dutchy. You're lucky to be here,
I
mate.
know what you're getting at there. I can see your point. But in today's football,
Play on.
You don't
Play
get.
on.
They get done for everything now, but you don't get done for attempting strike or attempting to trip.
Right.
I've got another story about attempting to trip.
Well,
I'll tell you
tell us
about
about
that
that
another
one.
time.
Yeah, tell us about that another time. All right, so that was that game. And I've got a quick shout out, though. We're talking doom and gloom about the Bombers, but shout out to Zach Merritt, the captain, skipper. You can't go with 36 disposals and 4 goals every week. That is unbelievable. Hopefully, you should get the 3 votes there. We then move to the Saints.
How's he going to get 3 votes when they lost by
can't
10
get-
goals?
You
You
can't,
have to.
you can't get 3 votes.
hell?
You have to.
You've lost by 10 goals.
Mate,
He's
the bloke he
36.
played on probably
No,
had
you
53
can't.
possessions. Like, who
Pull it up.
you know?
Did he?
You can't do that.
Did he, though?
You can't
I'll
do
come back
that.
to you. We'll look that up. We'll do a bit of research.
Don't argue with the lawyer on the panel here, all right? So we move to the Saints and the Cats, all right? Now, this is 4 times in a row that the Saints have actually beaten the Cats at Marvel Stadium.
It is, and I mean, they've been called this before, but, you know, are they the backyard bullies? Because
Who, the Cats?
They are.
Cardinia Park.
Every single year they're playing more and more games at GMHBA, Cardinia Park, sorry.
as I call it.
And it's a skinny long ground, as you know. Like, it's a little bit similar to Subiaco.
Oh,
Oval.
yeah.
Very
I thought
similar.
you were going to say it's a little bit similar
Yeah.
to Greg Harding's penis.
Skinny and long.
That would make a good dick
Too
pic.
many doodle jokes
Back to the
tonight.
dick picture. Can we get that one up? No.
I might know a bloke.
I believe that to his wife. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Where
Where your backyard?
backyard bully.
Backyard bullies. Don't bend over in the backyard. Come on, let's keep going.
Oh, the backyard bullies. They are. Well, they are. Look, I thought I'd check this out because they played poorly, especially in the first half. And it took them a long time to adjust to the dimensions of Marvel Stadium. Like, the pressure was hot. St Kilda's pressure was enormous in the first half, and they got away from it. They didn't even look like it, Geelong. And they just, as they adjusted the size of the ground and the pressure of the game, they just slowly worked their way back into the game and played much better and nearly stole it in the end. But if you look at their stats, Coach,
Tell me.
before you make a comment,
I'm itching.
over the last 3 years, they're going at about 75% win ratio at home and away at 46. So if they played 0 games at home, basically they're less than 50% chance of winning. So there's got to be some. I know you got to play home games. But That is pretty poor. Is that poor?
Well, it is, but I don't think you can also count out the way the Saints played. They came out in that first half, and their disposals were amazing. You know, I think even Chris Scott mentioned after the game, it was almost like they were playing against the Harlem Globetrotters, you know. And I had a friend of mine, Anna Bosco, at the game, and she reckons that they absolutely dominated that first half. And a big shout out to my mate Lance Collard, who kicked his first goal in the AFL. Well done, Lance. So, Dutch, I hear, yes, Geelong can be back up, but the Saints played bloody well. They deserved to win.
They actually did play very well. They did, but you'd expect a better showing, at least from the Cats earlier
Tom
in the
Stewart,
game.
Bailey Smith, 2 key outs as well before the game.
But we are seeing a bit of a pattern, aren't we, where you can actually kick 6 goals in a quarter and you're not guaranteed to win. Like, you know, in my day, like if you kick 6, 7 goals in a quarter, the game was gone. It was impossible to get back into it.
It's a game of momentum, isn't it? Shifting momentums.
Yeah,
Now we're going to shift the momentum back to you, son.
Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah.
I think we are pretty much done. Was there anything else, Coach, that you wanted to add? All right. We've got to try and get Richo on the show, I think, at some stage.
Should we have a bye next week, I think?
I think, well, Collingwood aren't playing, so what's the point of being here? You know, like, what are we going to talk about? It would be freaking boring, wouldn't it?
Well, if you're not on it, Dutch, then it will be because you love your pies.
Oh, we're having a week off there next week, and that's it.
We got a crisis meeting.
We're calling a crisis meeting. There's a few things we need to sort out here at number 1 footy. Even though we're still number 1, there's a few things to work out.
You can be number 1, but there's still always room for improvement.
That's right.
That's a great message.
Thank you.
And with that, here's the weekend wrap.
3-goal Joel with the Hawks on a roll and the Bombers dig deeper into a hole. Bam and pow when his glasses flying and Neil stood tall in a win for the Lions. Fast and class and Robbie Nahasen, Saints pulled a win right out of their arse. Sam Pepper from the boundary line and my man Lance if you don't bloody mind. Dog centenary celebration, North of Adiza domination. Joel late goal and consolation, Richmond copped a fornication. Over to Magpie, Scott and Steele. Most games as teammates, that's unreal. Tempers flare and Lob's blue hair and Jack and Jarman got the chair. Coach Call with the weekend, Finn O'Sullivan. Coach Call with the weekend wrap. Shout out to the Kalamunda Tigers. Coach Call with the weekend, Stephen Kernahan. Coach Call with the weekend.